Hello everybody, how are you doing? So I'm doing a quick video about the foods that we eat, and I'm reading from the book of Genesis. Okay, so I want to make a clarification of something because there's a debate about what do we eat. Okay, so I'm in the book of Genesis chapter 9. Okay, so it says, so Aravad blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Verse 2, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, and on all that move on the earth, and on all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hand. This is after the flood of Noah, okay? Now all of the animals on the land and even in the sea are now afraid of humans' dominion over them, okay? Now it says in verse 3, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Okay? That's interesting if you've never heard of that before. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. So that sounds a little bit tricky because you know that we don't eat people, right? Okay, so we don't eat puppies, we don't eat, think about that. So it's tricky. Listen to what it says and then keep reading to make sure you understand, okay? So I have given you all things even as the green herbs. So this is very tricky because it's almost like somebody's being vague. And I understand the dominion part. It says, and Aravad blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Okay? The animals are supposed to be afraid of you. Initially, the animals got along with humanity. Okay? However, now, so in verse 3, we need some clarification because we know we don't eat every moving thing that lives, okay? We know that. But he said, I have given you all things even as the green herbs. So this is tricky. What does he mean? Who is speaking and what does he mean, okay? Okay, so now, verse 4, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. So this is very tricky because it's saying one thing and it's saying something else. So it is saying the fear of you. So basically the animals, I almost want to say the plants, but the animals, the birds, the fish are supposed to be afraid of humanity because it's saying every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. But he said every moving thing. He didn't say every living thing. It's kind of weird. So I think he's telling the animals and the birds to be aware, and the fish to be aware there may be food for humans. But he said, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. So now people can get in a debate and say, well, he said every moving thing that lives, if it's living, it may have blood. But then again, he said, you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. So you don't want to eat something with the blood still in it. That part we understand, okay? Let me clarify something because it said every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. But like I said, we don't want to be cannibals, okay? So in verse 5 it says, surely for your lifeblood, who is reading this? A human. Okay, so surely for your lifeblood, human, I will demand a reckoning. From the hand of every beast I will require it. So the beasts are afraid of humans. But if the beast hurt the humans, then the Creator will demand a reckoning. Like, beast, why did you hurt that human? It's going to come into question later, okay? Okay, so, and from the hand of every man. So if a man hurts another human for their lifeblood, so say for instance, if a beast slays a human, the Creator, remember later on in the Bible it says, Sheol is going to give up its dead and the sea is going to give up its dead, and so all of the places that are holding its dead are going to give up its dead, okay? So there's going to be a reckoning for all of the lifeblood of mankind, okay? During the period of judgment. But anyway, let me see. So, from the hand of every man's brother I will require the life of a man. Now that gets a little bit tricky, okay? Now let me see. So I just said, surely for your lifeblood I will demand a reckoning. So every human's blood, if they were slain for some reason, either whether it was from a beast or from the hand of a man, the Creator is going to figure out who did what and why or when, okay? Now from the hand of every man's brother I will require the life of a man. This part is tricky. From the hand of every man's brother I will require the life of it. That's a little tricky, so let me keep reading, okay? So I won't get stuck on the tricky part because sometimes we get understanding at different levels. So I'm going to read the parts to you that I understand right now. Maybe we'll figure this part out later. Okay, so verse 6. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed. Now this sounds a little bit tricky because I'm not really trying to say one life for another life. I'm not trying to start the WAR word. I'm not trying to start drama. I'm talking about what we're going to eat, okay? So I might stop right there because I probably should have said that part in verse 6. I probably should have stopped there because what I'm talking about is what do we eat, okay? So people debate, and it explains in the Bible that we're not supposed to eat certain foods. This is a quick video because I'm supposed to like make a certain number of videos, so I'm sorry I'm telling you that. It's kind of a quick video, but what I'm trying to explain to you right now is that it's kind of tricky because some people say we shouldn't eat meat, but it does describe many times that there are burnt offerings, that the Levitical priests eat the fat from the burnt offerings, that during Passover there's a Passover offering. So we know that humans did eat meat, or the Israelite people did eat meat. But I'm trying to use this scripture or this chapter to kind of clarify something, because I think it's saying clearly don't eat humans, right? It's also saying don't eat flesh with its blood, like the blood is supposed to be drained out. But I think I'm trying to clarify here that it's explaining that the animals are afraid that the humans are going to eat them. But if the animals destroy anybody who's destroying humans' lives is going to be found out eventually during judgment. But what shall we eat? Okay? It says every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. It's so tricky because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they wanted to eat a certain diet. They didn't want to eat what the king gave to the other people in the city to eat, okay? They wanted to eat a diet of like herbs and vegetables and that type of thing, okay? That was their choice to eat certain foods because they thought it made them wiser. But if you search through the Bible, should humans eat meat or not, it explains to us what is clean versus unclean, what we should eat versus what we should not eat. But I'm using this scripture, this chapter 9 of Genesis, to describe to you guys the fact that basically don't eat humans, okay? And I think the animals, I guess, are going to be afraid if they kill humanity. Because I guess people could look at this in many different ways. Like if humans eat meat, then we have to answer for the meat that we ate, like for the animals that we ate. But the way that I saw it here is if the animals destroy the humans, they have to, I don't know if the creator asked them to explain because they're animals. He knows their language, and so I don't know. He just wants to know what happens to a human's blood, what happened to his life. He is going to want to know that for each human, okay? So I guess the summary of this is don't eat humans, which is kind of obvious. And then we have to look at the clean versus the unclean meats, whether we can eat them or not, okay? And whatever blood is shed of a human is going to be found out. I think I said that multiple times. And then one more thing I'm going to clarify. It's kind of weird because he said, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herbs. It depends on what you wanted to do. You could see that as, I have given you all things, even as the green herbs, so I should eat all the green herbs. You could see that in that way if you want to. But I think it's very tricky wording and a little bit vague, and you need the other parts of scripture to kind of figure out what it is talking about, okay? So as far as what you should eat, I think you know in your heart what you should eat. I do know that the children of Israel did eat meat at times. There were times when the Creator was upset with them when they asked for quail or they wanted meat and they were in the wilderness. The Creator would get upset with them because He didn't want them to eat that. He wanted them to eat the manna that He provided. So I think there's a time and a place for everything, and you probably need to pray and ask for wisdom in what you should eat. But when it comes to human and their blood and whatever else, we shouldn't be eating human flesh, nor should we eat any type of flesh with its blood in it, okay? So it would have to be drained out. And if you choose to eat vegetables and herbs and that type of thing without eating meat, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to do that, okay? So this is just a very quick video posing the question of what should we eat based on Genesis definition of it, okay? Thank you for listening to my video. I really appreciate you guys listening and watching, okay? Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.